Thank you. I don't think I'll need that. How many of you here are married? Raise your hand. I got to know my audience. How many of you are married? Raise your hands. Happily? Okay, some of the hands went down. Okay, I understand. All right, now come on, put your hands down. All right, bro, are you like, you're scared? You're like, I'm happy. Yeah, okay, so how many of you have children? Raise your hands that you love. Hands are down, hands are down, hands are down. All right, this will be real easy. How many of you have teenagers? Raise your hands that you love. Just put your hands down. Just put them down, put them down, put them down, put them down. All right. Well, I have a teenager. Well, she's not a teenager anymore. My daughter, have you ever noticed that daughters go through mood changes? Has anybody come up with that? How about drama? Any drama with your kids at all? Any drama? How many of you, any of you raising little princesses, like 4- or 5-year-old little princess? How many of you know? Enjoy, right? Am I right? Because when they're little, they're portable. They're like porta princess, like little print. And they have little voices that go with them. They're really cute. You go, hi, honey. Hi, daddy. How many of you understand what I'm talking about? And then their voice changes around 11 or 12, right? They develop what we call what? An opinion, okay? So my daughter, when she was like 4 and 5 years old, I would go up to Nicole and go, hi, Nicole. This little voice say, hi, daddy. It was like, yeah. I would just take her with me. Yeah, you know what I mean? Then, when she turned around 11 or 12, I would walk up to her and go, hi, honey. And this voice would say, honey is not here. I said, you're becoming more like your mother every single day, all right? Passion is the most misunderstood word that you could ever imagine. In fact, for the next few hours that I have with you this afternoon, we're going to really get into this. So when it comes to passion, most misunderstood, and hopefully in the next few minutes, is I'm going to like put a fire hose down your throat and I'm going to turn it on full blast, okay? Because I'm going to be done very, very quickly. I think passion, in the working definition, here's what I'm going to say. Passion is the one thing you would do every single day of your life if you never got paid a dime. Let me try that again. Passion is the one thing you would do every single day of your life if you never got paid a dime. Now, if you look at the PowerPoint, you guys probably heard of this guy. Remember, did you read about this guy a few months ago? How many of you know some people have too much time on their hands? Okay. What this guy did, his name was Alex Bumgarner, right? And what he did, Felix Bumgarner, what he did, he got in a capsule and he went 24 miles up into the what? Stratosphere, right? Then when he was up there, they said he climbed up out of the capsule and he skydived 24 miles. How many of you know that's impressive? Now, some of you are not impressed. Some of you are going, yeah. So I want to know what you do for fun, okay? They said his body reached speeds of 850 miles an hour. It said that he broke the sound barrier with his body. That to me is, how many of you are impressed with that? All right, yeah. So you're going, I don't know where I am right now. Is there more food? Okay, so the idea is this. What was the one thing that, in fact, you probably, if you read the article, you'll know, but what do you think was the one greatest fear that this guy had? I mean, just looking at this, if you didn't read the article, what do you think one of his greatest fears was? Anybody raise your hand? What do you think his greatest fear? Dying. What's that? Dying. Dying. Okay, dying, very much. Okay, possibly. Not his greatest fear, though. In fact, let me give you a hint because of time. His greatest fear, ready, took the most training and the most time. Fear does, doesn't it? Fear. Anybody else? Greatest fear? Anybody else? What do you think?
Failing.
Failing. Woo. Dying, the fear of death, and the fear of what? Failure. Yes. Passing out, losing control. Okay. No, none of these yet. I'll make it. He was claustrophobic. Now, see, all of you, because of the reaction, going, oh, you would never think that his fear was based on what you see here. But the fact of the matter is, the thing that freaked him out the most was getting in the what? Spacesuit, staying in that spacesuit. And so when he would get in the spacesuit, he would get so claustrophobic, he could only stay in for moments at a time, and they had to keep putting him in the spacesuit until he got used to the what? To the spacesuit. After he got used to that, then he had to spend 2.5 hours in a capsule, ascending to 24 miles. So the reality is, his fear is not what you would suspect, is it? Just like your fear is not what people would suspect. Can I say something right from the output? Your passion, whatever your passion is, and really get this, because don't only get this for you, get this for your spouse, and here's something else. Get it for your children. Because most of us here, we guess at the passions of our children. We think their passion is their talent. But how many of you know what you have talent for is not necessarily what you have what? Passion for. So here's your passion, and here is your fear. Fear is just in front of passion. Most people don't fulfill their passion, not because they don't know what it is. They don't fulfill their passion because they're too what? Afraid. So, very quickly, what do you think my fear is? First of all, what do you think my passion is? Anybody in, real quick? Gary's passion. What is my passion? Yes. Speaking. Exactly. You hit it right off. Because some people say talking. They go, yo, your passion is talking. I go, no. They'll say, well, what's the difference between passion, talking and speaking? I go, a check. How many of you understand what I'm talking about? Okay? See, but think, if speaking is my passion, let me give you a hint of my fear. Ready? When I was 2, I was abandoned by my parents. I lived in and out of foster homes for 2 or 3 years, okay? My mother remarried an alcoholic stepfather that took his personal abuse out on me. Most of my life, I was told to shut up, shut up, shut up. You'll never amount to anything. Keep your mouth shut. You have nothing good to say. I went to a different school from the time I was in kindergarten all the way, what, 6th grade. Different neighborhood every year. What do you think my greatest fear is? Not being accepted. Woo! So close. How about rejection? So I want you to think about what I do for a living. Think about my passion. Here's my passion, to speak, but my fear is what? Rejection. Here's a question. What's your fear? Now, if I was in a longer session, okay, than I have today, what I would do is I would have every single one of you write down 5 of your biggest fears. I do this in front of executive groups all over the country. A couple of days ago, I was in Las Vegas. 1,000 people, dentists and their teams. I had them participate in this exercise. Write down 5 of your greatest fears. Guess what some of the biggest fears were? Ready? Death. Dying too early. Can I tell you something? Here's the good news. Based on my idea, if your greatest fear is death, guess what your passion is? To be fully alive. Is that cool or what? If your greatest fear in life is failure, guess what your passion is? To be successful. You see what I'm saying? My greatest fear is rejection. In fact, in some groups, I actually get evaluated. They do. I'll speak and they score me. From 1 to 5. 5 being the best, we're scoring you right now. Little man, you're being scored. Speak, but we're scoring you. How many of you know that can be scary? How would you like to be scored? Some of you are going, I'm married. Okay, I understand that, okay? But you know, I would get like a 96% success in all my scores. Guess what I looked at? The 4%. In fact, I not only looked at the 4%, guess what? I started changing my speaking to meet the what? 4% of what? Loser. You know what I found out? You know the 4% that didn't like me? Guess what? They don't like anybody. They don't like anybody. So my passion is to speak. I love speaking. In fact, I love it. My job is flying places. My job is staying in the hotel. My job is leaving my family. That's my job. But my passion is speaking. Who would have ever thought that his greatest fear was what? Claustrophobic. Here's a question. Again, what's your greatest fear? What's the thing that you're most afraid of? What's the thing that grips you? Most of the time when I ask people their greatest fear, they're afraid to tell me. Think about that. Dr. Emmons is coming later, and tremendous guy, Robert Emmons, talks about gratitude. But I don't do it like he does. I'm sure he does a lot better job. But I just want to touch on this because I believe gratitude is the foundation of everything we do. How many of you understand what I'm talking about? How many of you know that some of us have high levels of what? Expectation, right? And low what? Gratitude. Guess who is the biggest pain in the rear end when it comes to flying on planes? Frequent flyers. Why? Because they have such high what? Expectation that they treat everybody like, well, I'll let you fill that in. How many of you understand that the older we get, the lower our expectation and the higher our what? Our gratitude. Have you ever noticed that? It's not that you're not supposed to have a high expectation. Passion is high expectation. But can I tell you something about passion and expectation? As high as your expectation is, your gratitude should just be above that. How many of you understand? How many of you have children that you've raised not to be grateful? And you've done a great job. They don't say thank you. They don't say, they just expect. See, I'm finding out in my life that the older I get, now that I'm 50, seriously, I look older? Oh my, okay. I find out this, that my expectation is not as high as it used to be. In fact, when I wake up in the morning, I believe I've had the best day of my life. Waking up. How many of you understand what I'm talking about? Some of the young people are going, I don't get it. You will. You will. How about you wake up in the morning and you're vertical? I think that's pretty good, right? Some of you don't know I'm vertically challenged, all right? I have to stand on my tippy toes so I can shave. So I understand gratitude, all right? How about this? You wake up in the morning and somebody loves you. And they know you. No, let me try that again. And they know you. Let me try that one again. And they know you. But they still choose to love you. Are you not having one of the most blessed days of your life? Or you wake up in the morning and you live in the United States of America. I've been to 31 countries around the world. If you've been to any other country in this world, do you know what you can find out? If you've got, what, $15 in your pocket, you are in the 2/3 of the world's rich population. If you have a car that even runs, you're in 1 percentile. How many of you know you've got nothing to whine about? So here's a challenge. Can I give a challenge to you guys before we go? Ready? Here's your challenge. For the next 24 hours, not one negative thing comes out of your mouth. How many of you lost already? Seriously. How many of you went, that was really stupid? What is passion? How does it work out to be profitable? How many of you ever hired somebody, raise your hands and please don't look around the room, but how many of you ever hired somebody that had no passion and you're still writing them checks because they're a relative? I'll leave that alone. You should have seen your face, you're going, ha. I didn't want to hire him, all right. I spend a lot of time, in fact, 75% of all my speaking is in dentistry. Think about that. I don't know why, but it just is. And I was at this one dental, they actually asked me to come in and work with one of their teams. Now, I'm not what you call a consultant, I'm more like a coach, if you want to, all right? So I walk in, the first day I'm in this, they have huddles. They have these little huddles at the beginning of the day, and they have a scorekeeper. And at 2 o'clock, we're having this person. At 3 o'clock, we have a cancellation. There will be no cancellations, all right? And they just go through, right? Well, there's one woman standing there, and she goes, I can't wait to leave. You could actually, have you ever been around people that when you're with them, the air leaves the room? Have you ever been around those people? How many of you understand what I'm talking about? I mean, you're with them, and within 2 seconds, you go, that's enough. I've had enough, okay? And every time this woman would come in, she'd go, I hate this. I'm leaving in 3 weeks. I'm out of here in 3 weeks. I've served my time. It was like her job was San Quentin. Second day she came in. I'm leaving. I can't wait to get out of here. And you can feel the nails. How many of you, right? Now, how many of you know that we all have a filter in our brain that tells us what to say and what not to say? How many of you know sometimes that filter doesn't kick in? How many of you know sometimes we just say, shut up to the filter, don't we? Right? My wife, when we first got married 22 years ago, my wife, Cherie, she'd say, honey, 10% of the things that come to your mind, don't say. This year, she said, honey, 90% of the things that come to your mind, don't say, okay? But how many of you know sometimes it doesn't kick in? Have you ever said something and as the words are coming out of your mouth, you're going, no, come back now? Have you ever had that happen? Well, on the third day, this woman walks in again, same thing, man. I'm whine. I mean, you want to burp it, not work with it, right? And so she starts in, man, I can't, I'm leaving. I couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't, and the filter didn't kick in. So I looked at her, I said, why wait another day? Why don't you leave right now? And I noticed that the staff, because there's this staff, I can't say, this is my staff, I have a staff. This is our staff. Isn't staff an infection? Wasn't a team, it was a what? It was a staff. They never said a word. So finally I looked at her, I go, why don't you just leave today? But it's hard to fire the dentist's wife. Can I tell you something? Sometimes leadership in business, the biggest downers you'll ever meet. They are the ones that set the pace for passion. So here's where I live every single day. 3 quick stories, how passion plays out in the prophet. How does it affect the bottom line? All right, let's look at the first slide. That's a shoe shine in Chicago O'Hare. I was coming back from London, England, speaking for the British Dental Society. All right, we'll let that go. All right, it's afternoon. There were 4 people in the conference. It was awesome. So, you guys, let me help you through it. I'll work with you, okay? And so, all of a sudden, I had about a 4-hour layover in Chicago O'Hare. How many of you know that's a lot of time in Chicago O'Hare, right? So I'm like, I mean, you can only look at so much. So finally I look, and there's this long line of people down this wall, just lined up. I look, I go, man, it's a long line. I had time, a line, and I had time. So what did I do? I got in the line. I got in the line, I'm standing there, the guy in front of me goes, what's up? I go, not much. I said, you in line? He goes, yeah. I go, time? He goes, I got time. I said, do you know what the line's for? He goes, no. And we're both in this line, and we don't even know what it goes, all right? So I'm going, all right. So we finally find out it goes to a shoe shine stand. It was a line for a shoe shine. And I got sandals on. This is freaking me out, right? And I'm going, this is crazy. But you stay in the line because why? Where there's a line, you think there's something what good. I mean, I don't know if you have your favorite restaurant, but I'm willing to go and spend an hour. I'll wait to get in that place. Because, you know, even though there was a shoe shine stand not too far away, right? Nobody there. But this guy. And then I found out why. About 20 minutes later, I'm getting closer. And I walk up, and here's this guy, about 65, young dude. And he's sitting there, and he looks at me, and he goes, welcome to the best shoe shine stand in the world. And he hands me his personal business card. He says, sits down. My sandals are there. He goes, before our time's up, your sandals are going to be as shiny as you can. They're going to be beautiful. I'm thinking, how about my feet? Might as well go for it. You know what I'm saying? He pulls out the polish, and the first thing he does, he puts his fingers around the polish. He shows it to me. He goes, you notice there's no color to this polish. He goes, I'm going to tell you why. This is a special polish. It takes on the beauty of the leather. Whatever it touches, it takes on that beauty. And then he said to me, it's similar to our lives, isn't it? And then for the next 2 to 3 minutes, he's shining my sandals and changing my life. Here's a question. What was his passion? I mean, was it shoes? Was it shiny? I mean, did he get up in the morning and say to his wife, oh, honey, I'm giddy. Yeah, can't wait. Shoes. Yeah. No. Maybe it was. I don't know. Passion's that weird. But how many of you know it probably wasn't it wasn't shoes, it was what? People. So he took his, wait a minute, watch now. He took his passion to his what? Position. You know what we owners and managers, you know what they tell people? You need to do a better job. You need to do a better job. How many of you know better people do better jobs? Better people do what? Better jobs. So here I am, I walk away. Did I tip that shoe shine guy? I mean, did I tip him? Absolutely. Did I tip him for my sandals? No, I tipped him for what? His passion. I tipped his passion. Here's the second one. Ready? Security lines. Don't you like those, security lines? How many of you ever been in a security line? Do you feel secure? So I'm in security line. I'm running late. How many of you know I'm not always passionate? How many of you know I don't walk around the planet, I'm passionate. Yay, yippee, wee. I don't. I mean, when I get home, come on, when I get home, there's reality at home. Am I right? I mean, when I get off the road, you know, I've been speaking, it's been wonderful. I get home, my wife doesn't look at me and go, from across the room, oh, little man. All right, she calls me that, all right. You're home. Just speak. Because your voice is like an aphrodisiac. Some of you don't know what that means, but it's good. How many of you know that's not my world? That's not my world. I live in the same world. My wife looks at me and says, you know the big dog you wanted? Yeah. Well, he left some big passion in the backyard. You might want to pick that up, right? See? So I'm in the security line. I'm not feeling real passionate. I'm running late. I'm mad. I'm angry. I don't want to be there. After I stop feeling sorry for myself, I hear this voice at the front of the line. And it's a woman's voice, and you hear this. Oh, look at your license. Oh, look at that. That's a great picture, sir. No, you're fine. You're fine. Your flight's fine. Next, hey, are you married? You are. Make sure you kiss your wife. That's the first thing you want to do when you walk through the door. It took this woman 2 to 3 seconds, every single person. Now, there were some people that I'm sure walked up to her and she went, good, keep going. How many of you know? Because they're still looking for their personality. So she's sensitive. And by the way, the amount of time that it took her to do that didn't take away from her productivity whatsoever. In fact, it was so cool that when people were getting closer to her, we were almost becoming like kids. I'm soon, my turn. What are you going to say about me? Say something about me. What are you going to say? Go ahead. How many of you understand what I'm saying? What was her passion? Licenses and tickets? Is that what she was like born to do? I don't know. It might have been, all right? But how many of you know it probably wasn't? There's probably something more going on. But she took whatever her passion was to her what? To her position. See, your position in life will never increase your passion for life. But your passion for life will always increase your position in life. People that are passionate, don't matter where you put them anywhere in the company, something begins to happen. People that are not, put them anywhere in the company, and something will begin to go down. And the last one is Mr. Personality. That guy drives a rental car van. How many of you know that his passion is not probably necessarily driving a rental car van, but do you see that microphone going right towards him? That has passion all over it. Because when you get in the van, the first thing he says is, welcome. Welcome to the best ride of your life. We got 5 minutes before we get to your car. Let me share a couple of ideas with you. And before he's done, he gets a standing ovation. No big personality. No big ha, ha, ha. Just a couple of great ideas. You know what? He brought his passion to his what? His position. Check this out. How many of you have you ever been in a place you didn't want to be, but it was a place you needed to be? Because I'm going to tell you something. The greatest stories that you'll ever tell your friends and your family and your children, your grandchildren, the great stories of your life came in the pain of your life, not in the success. By the way, the archaic definition of passion, are you ready? Pain. That's what it means, pain. So it's during those times when we're kind of walking through that, if you want to call it the valley of the shadow of death, when we're walking through those valleys, that's where character is built. Mountaintops are for casting vision, but valleys for building what? Personal character. Every one of you have one thing in common in this room. Seriously, all of you have one thing in common. You're all messed up. No, look around the room, seriously. This table especially, right here, these guys. These guys right here, you can tell. Look at them. Because some of them are looking at me going, shut up, little man. Just shut up. Just get on, tell another joke, you little freak. All right, just tell a joke. But how many of you know we are, every single one of us in this room, we've got issues. Do we not have issues, right? I mean, how many of you come from a dysfunctional family? Raise your hands. Now, if you didn't raise your hands, that means you're totally delusional, all right? How many of you are successfully raising a dysfunctional family right now? Get your hands up. Be proud, all right? See, the reality is, sometimes we're in a place we don't want to be. My wife came to me, who's more outgoing than I am. I'm actually the quiet one in my family. She came to me one day and she goes, I want you to go do something with me, but if I tell you what it is, you won't go. I'm the man of my house. I don't know what it's like at your house. I'm the man. They know me very well. Sharice isn't here, right? Okay, good. I'm the man, okay? I said, well, give me a hint. She goes, well, we're going to Beverly Hills. I said, where? She goes, we're going to go work out with Richard Simmons. How many of you know that wasn't on my bucket list? Work out with Richard Simmons. Yes, I'm on. I said to my wife, I put my foot down, I said, there is no way I'm getting in the car, driving to Beverly Hills and working out with Richard Simmons. I said, that is not going to happen. So on our way there the next day, as we're driving, I said to her, this is really stupid. This is really dumb. I want you to think about this. It was one of her passions. I wouldn't say it's a big passion, but it's something she wanted to do. Am I right? I wrote a book. I wrote a book on passion, how to find the one thing that energizes you and make it happen in your life at some level. But when it came to my wife, I was telling her how stupid it is. Sometimes familiarity breeds contempt. Have you ever noticed? I do this. I don't know if you do this. Sometimes I give myself the best of me away to people that don't even care. And at the end of the day, I serve my emotional leftovers to my family. Can I keep it really real with you? Can I take it to a real level? Ready? Some people are not excited when you get home. They've had a good day. Look at this is such a great crowd. Some of you going, My wife doesn't listen to me, so she just kept driving. There's two kinds of people I meet every single day, exit people and entrance people. Exit people, they don't want to be where they are, and they're miserable. How many of you know if you're miserable, spread it around? You don't want to be miserable by yourself. Am I right? If I'm miserable, y'all going to join in, okay? There's miserable people. Miserable. Those are exit people. They don't want to be where they are. Then there's entrance people. Entrance people, no matter where you put them, they shine. Something about those people, no matter what. No job's too big, no job's too small. I'm ready to rock. We show up to Richard Simmons' workout studio. Was I exit or entrance? Exit, totally. I don't want to be there. How long did it take me to get out of the car? Days. Days. My wife, was she exit or entrance? Entrance, ready to rock. Bam, whoo, yeah. We pull up, it was like the eighth wonder. There were women as far as the eye could see. I've never seen anything like it in my life. They were sweating and they hadn't even started working out yet. My wife, did she go to the front of the gym or the back of the gym? Right to the front, bam. Where did I go, front or back? No, I went to the front because she dragged me all the way there. You can see my heel marks. Ready? You want to talk about profit? You want to talk about profit, profit, profit? Ready? 80% of your entrance people at your job, they spend 80% of their time dragging exit people to where they're supposed to be every day. Let me try that again. Your entrance people, they spend 80% of their time dragging those exit people where they're supposed to be every single day. I've been to companies, man, where I walk up the front desk. I walk up the front, the reception area, which sets the pace for the entire company. That's where everybody sees, that's it. And you walk up and they go, can I help you? And you want to go, you must be related to somebody because you would have never gotten this job. Ever. There's something about passion. And I'm not talking about passion being I'm talking about, you know when you're around passion, don't you? You know, you can feel it. Start working out, sweating to the oldies. Have you ever heard that? The women, stirred the soup, dodge the rock. I mean, they were into it, right? Into it. So we're going, I want to learn how to do that. All right. I didn't want to be there, man. I didn't want to be there. So I do what people that are in an exit mode do. I move to the back of the gym rather to the what? To the front. I act like I was working because exit people are real busy at work. I'm busy. What are you doing? I'm busy. But what are you doing? Busy, man. I got a lot going on. What do you do here? They don't know yet. No productivity. End up, long story short, man, my wife's there. The women start, sweating to the oldies. All of a sudden, I'm in the back of the gym, and I look up, and here comes Richard Simmons out of the side room. He had a little fro going on, little shorty shorts. He had a white beater T-shirt that said in sequins, "Dance with me." He was freaking me out, man. I mean, he came out, and he's just like, the women are going, "Richard!" He's like, I'm in the back going, oh. To this day, I don't know how it happened, but I looked up, and Richard Simmons standing right here. How many know that's going to be a life-changing experience? I mean, you understand? He looked at me, and he said, "You know what? You're bringing everybody down in this room. If you're going to stay here, I want you to work it, sir. Do you understand what I'm saying?" How many of you know I do that too well? Okay? Then he looked at me and goes, "You are so negative." He goes, "What do you do for a living?" My wife's looking at me. I said, "I'm a speaker." He goes, "A speaker? What do you speak on?" Passion. Don't judge me. Don't you guys judge me. He goes, "Well, what do you do?" And I go, "Well, I work at IMS." And no, they would. How many of you know? Have you guys ever been to IMS? I want to say this. I got to say this for one room. I've been around IMS for a while, and I got to tell you, if you ever get a chance to go over there, if you have, it's great. But I tell you, that place is passion on at a level you can't. There's a lot of owners that talk about doing things and making, but Roy Hill, and I'm just going to shout your praise right now. You are awesome, man, bro. And I tell you what I love about Roy so much is that when I'm with him, he's so low-key that every time I'm with him, now I don't even know if I should say this, but I'm going to. It's on video, right? Turn the freaking thing off, right? Now I'm going to say this. Every time I'm around Roy, I just want to confess sins I've never done. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why it is. He looks at me and I go, "I'm sorry." Roy did. He did it. Blame him. He did it. Thank you for taking life to the next level. And thank you for InTouch. And Rick, wherever you are, my man that the only man I can see eye to eye with. Rick, you're an amazing man. So many of you guys. So in closing, which means nothing, I just want to close with this idea. My wife and I are in Beverly Hills. Well, we were actually in Southern Cal a couple of months ago, and Sharice looks at me and she goes, "Hey, you want to go out, work out with Richard again?" Absolutely, let's move it. So about 2 months ago, we went back to the studio and we worked out, and he's still rocking after 16 years. Can I tell you something? You never retire from your passion. You only retire from your position. You try that again. You never retire from your passion. You retire. There was a pastor who passed away not too long ago, Pastor Glenn Cole. Some of you know who he is. Pastor Glenn Cole never retired. He announced retirement about 20 times, but he never retired. Why? Because he was a man of absolute, complete what? Passion. So just one more thing before I go. I leave it with this. How many of you know that there's two kinds of brains here? There's right brain and left brain. Am I right? All the left brainers, I want to talk to you for just a minute before I hang up the phone. Left brainers, some of you are tripping right now. Left brainers right now, you're going, "Where are the handouts? There are no handouts." No, they are right now. They go, I want to fill out something, right? All the left brainers are going, "He's funny, but he has no content." You know why you say I have no content? Because I didn't number anything. Number 1, number 2. Oh, I like that. Left brain, can I tell you something about you? Left brain, you're hard to change. You really are. It's hard to get your brain to change. It's hard for you to accept change unless you're the one bringing it. Left brain, here's the thing I love about you, though. All the left brainers here right now, here's what I love about you. Whatever you start, if once you start, you what? You finish. When you want to talk about passion and being profitable, left brain, let me tell you something. You start, and then you what? You finish. It's just hard to get you what? It's hard to get you started. But then there's the right brainers. The right brainers are here too. Well, they don't know they are, but they are, okay? Right brainers are like, wee, yay, yippee, yay. If you talked about passion, anything you talk, hi, I'm in. How about passion? I'm in. I want to do passion. I'm in. If you want to get right brainers to a meeting, just have food. The reason right brainers and left brainers, the reason we have left brainers is to keep the right brainers from going to jail. Right brainers, here's the thing about you that's awesome. You're quick to start, but sometimes you don't finish. In fact, right brainers, you have a hard time finishing anything. What's passion all about? What's the profit all about? Finding the one thing, the call, if you will. I wrote a book on it. In fact, it's kind of cool. I found out, Roy, you're amazing. I'm assuming I'm doing the right thing, but my book is available. I'll be glad to do a book signing. And I feel like Oprah right now because every single person here is receiving my book for free. Roy has taken care of that for you, so you get a free book on your way out. Can we give him applause? Thank you, Roy, so much for doing that. And one last thing. My wife has designed something called Dashboard Detours. How many of you have ever been driving to work and you wish somebody changed your mind a little bit? Okay? You get 8 minutes of Gary Zelesky on your way to work. It's a whole series. It's a riot. You've got to hear it. And if you go pick up a card, and you can check it out. So I just want to say thank you. Please be passionate. There's so much more, but I've got to close because I always do it right on time. We ready? Thanks, you guys. I appreciate it. Thank you.